East Palestine. Keep the pressure on. And we saw a couple of new developments and new reports and updates that came out of East Palestine this week. So it starts out, Andrew Welton and the Welton Group. He is a professor at Purdue University. He has been amazing. And the folks at United for East Palestine, the mutual aid support group that started on Facebook, have been praising him and telling us about the work that he's been doing, and I've been following him ever since. Did the 7-hour drive from Purdue, from Indiana to East Palestine, and put in 7 hours of field work in day one. This is a thread reader thread so that it cuts out a lot of the noise on Twitter. But each one of these is a tweet in a thread. So first, Sulphur Run, where the chemicals first entered waterways from the Norfolk Southern disaster, is practically free of water in some places. Some places are flowing, others seemingly with stagnant pools. And sheen still exudes from the Sulphur Run banks in places where we visited. We did see free-floating sheen, not from us disturbing, after the confluence of Sulphur Run and Leslie Run. And there's a little video here. Hopefully you can hear that.
I don't, but that's okay.
Shoot. Well, it's just birds chirping, but I want to make sure you can hear sound anyway. But we saw water boatman insects moving through the sheen in some places, and maybe some spider-looking bugs too, but we did see some bugs in Sulphur Run where the water was flowing. And again, you can see the sheen here.
Yep.
Right.
Gotta go back.
There. And there's like one of the bugs floating. Sorbent booms sat on the basically dry Sulphur Run creek bed. It looks like the hay bale left in Sulphur Run culvert we've seen before is now gone. A lot of greenery has now grown along Sulphur Run, which is nice to see, because if the area were poisoned and toxic, you wouldn't be able to see any green growing, I believe, whatsoever. Correct, Reef?
Plants can grow out of concrete, bro.
But does that mean that it's...
They can grow in some pretty adverse conditions.
They celebrated Catterday.
Nice. The pity.
Hopefully people heard the truck noise, and that's good. Assange shares heartfelt messages to first responders who helped the community. In East Palestine Park, a lot of greenery has come in. It's also nice to see. I think they also might have planted some new stuff.
Yep.
The water levels, with less than 21 days of barely any, with around 21 days of barely any rain, have prompted lower flows in Leslie Run, which is on the left, and Sulphur Run, which is on the right. This is Leslie Run. And then this is Sulphur Run. Okay. So we're following what's going on here. Then near that location, we see air testing canisters just hanging out on a telephone pole. That's kind of interesting. We did see, as mentioned before, freely floating sheen in Leslie Run in East Palestine Park. Nothing like the amount we've seen previously. So it's moving. Where it's going, who knows? But along Leslie Run, south of East Palestine, we saw a lot of fish, frog, and insects. So that's good. So wildlife seems to be coming back to the area. Good to know. And we did see sheen when creek banks were physically disturbed in Leslie Run. Norfolk Southern plans to start cleaning Leslie Run next week. I wonder what that will do to the living things there. This should have been done already. IMO.
Yep.
Jesus.
More sheen.
More sheen. There's more. Tomorrow's another day. So here's day 2. Rendezvous with research teams, faculty and students from UT, University of Tennessee, and Inter Puerto Rico, and community resident to provide drinking water to sample private drinking water wells held from Tennessee and Puerto Rico. Amazing. So here's them taking sediment samples. He didn't fall in, thankfully. Epico pressure washing East Taggart right on the derailment site and Sulphur Run. So we've got.
I'm sure that's gonna be great for the water table.
Are they trying to get like chemicals off the street? Is that what's happening? Pressure washing?
Probably, or burn marks or whatever.
Found the Norfolk Southern Family Assistance Center. Been here 6 times and never seen this before. Not certain how I missed it. At Rebecca Place. Okay, that's cool. Flowers are blooming. Hey, how about that? Some homeowners bought in-house water treatment systems for their well water. Concerns about well water safety remain. No wells have been found to have disaster-related contamination so far. Let me repeat that. According to Professor Andrew Welton, no wells have been found to have disaster-related contamination so far in East Palestine.
Seems off.
Wow.
Don't know how that's possible.
Yeah. Sulphur Run sometimes flows at 5 to 7 feet deep through town. Not today. Chemicals and contaminated water flowed directly underneath multiple buildings. And here's another 27-second video of it flowing.
With the lack of rainwater, and maybe just the water tables kind of hold up for a bit. You know?
Yeah.
So all that chemical is just sitting somewhere.
There's no wildlife sitting in that thing. Sulphur Run also goes under several buildings upstream.
I see some.
Okay. Some parts of it are practically dry, even in parts of town. Right, but now the sound of rainfall in East Palestine.
Right, which that could cause some issues if it's, you know.
Yep. We saw 2 deer near the derailment site in the parking lot of ER Advanced Ceramics, Inc. And then we encountered a Norfolk Southern train. 132 cars going west to east through the center of East Palestine. 2 engines, second engine after 100 rail cars. It took 5 minutes and 30 seconds to pass. Only 38 seconds of the video shown here. That's a long time. I was just reading an article about how they just started slow-moving trains running through East Palestine again.
Yeah.
I mean, we can watch 38 seconds of a choo-choo. Happy Train Dance Day. That doesn't look like it's going all that slow, to be honest.
I mean,
we've seen how messed up some of that track is.
Yeah.
5.5 minutes for that train for only 132 cars. That's pretty slow.
Probably get noticed in town specifically, but
right. So here's day 3 out in the field. They cross paths again with their colleagues from friends in Tennessee and Puerto Rico, sampling wells. They made friend today near Leslie Run while measuring water depths. A happy leopard frog. I don't even see the thing there, but it's there somewhere.
They haven't asked if the frogs are gay yet. So obviously
they turned the frogs gay.
They're covering something up.
Alex Jones type of stuff right there. With the rain since yesterday and continuing rain, Sulphur Run is no longer dry.
No longer dry.
And Leslie Run is also flowing a lot. Yeah, that same boom, but now it's got water nearby. All right, and then you've got Leslie Run also flowing a lot more because of the rain. Right, we saw a variety of signs advertising for pressure washing since our February visit. We saw some building pressure washing taking place. We saw street pressure washing too. We do not endorse this company, just showing what we saw. And we're back at Purdue. Results, when available, of our scientific support efforts will be described here, as well as posted on our disaster response webpage. Gotta love this guy. After 4.5 months after the disaster, indoor air is still contaminated in some places. So exposures have continued for 4.5 months. 1.5 months ago, we visited and found this too. We asked US EPA to do something about it. They haven't yet. It's unclear why we have to be the ones advocating for protecting public safety, decon the buildings, conduct air testing, and then monitor. It's not hard. Why draw this out? Why allow exposures, which directly undercuts the message that recovery is happening? As we've found in other disasters, but more so here, disaster response decision-making when it comes to public safety and scientific support needs a complete overhaul. So today, if it can allow for harmful exposures and threaten public safety and business survival, that it can allow for that. So again, shout out to Andrew Welton, Professor Andrew Welton, doing God's work out there and really helping out the people of East Palestine. That's him. We got some other tweet threads from him in Thread Reader. But I have a couple more East Palestine tweets. So one of the things that happened this week is that the residents of East Palestine went to the Statehouse in Cleveland, or in Columbus, I believe is the capital of Ohio. So they went to the Statehouse and they tried to lobby their lawmakers. And what ended up happening was they got escorted out.
Nobody's done our souls.
This impacts every person. Vinyl chloride is responsible for 99% of the plastics in this country. 5 to 6% of the plastics can be recycled. That means 95% of the plastics cannot be recycled. Nosebleeds, neurological symptoms. We're having seizures.
What about the 10%?
We're having them now. Please declare an emergency declaration. That's my sign. That's my property.
Don't put your hands on her. Don't put your hands
Take
on
my
her.
property.
Do
I
not
will
put your
leave
hands
if
on
you give me
her.
my sign.
That's
I
her
will leave.
property.
That's my property. May I please have my property?
Save our kids!
Disgraceful. Makes me so freaking upset. Really. So this is from the Rooster, Ohio, also an independent media organization. See that pillar in the middle? That's where Denzel Ward is sitting. The Brown Star is getting a front row seat at Civic Action today, baby. All right. More interruptions from the East Palestine residents here.
We're all gonna get cancer.
Here. Let me go back here and go back to slideshow off, full screen this.
Do the right thing. Declare an emergency. What if it were your families that were poisoned by Norfolk Southern?
We're all gonna get cancer.
Start working for your fellow Ohioans instead of the crooked-ass railroad.
Good for that guy. Great mustache, too.
They just sit there. Like,
Lemmings is the word you're looking for.
Slideshow on. There we go. Okay. So that's the Rooster. He also linked to a great article by Jake Zuckerman, and that this is in cleveland.com. They're advanced media. They're kind of corporate media, but he's a local guy. I read that article. I'm not going to. What's up with Lurch? You know what? Oh, Sergeant at Arms. That's the guy who was there. You know, people tagging other journalists and other outlets. Don't know if this really got much play. So much solidarity in these people. All right. Then we also have Scott C. Smith, Water Warrior 1. Additional soil and additional soil and furnace filter testing in East Palestine this week, and recent furnace filter testing results show a non-plume impacted area in Salem, Ohio, which is the control, versus plume-impacted residents that had health symptoms. Note that the affected East Palestine residents had in their furnace filters dioxin levels of over 2,200%, over 4,000%, and over 14,000% higher than the non-plume impacted control. That seems slightly high. we continue to make progress on getting the truth for the affected residents of East Palestine, Ohio, and surrounding communities from the Norfolk Southern train derailment. My offer remains open to the public information officers, PR people, and all government agencies to test side by side with me for the health and well-being of East Palestine, Ohio, and all the local residents nearby, and everybody else for that matter. The Norfolk Southern battalion of PR people and lobbyists will not be able to escape the truth and 4 Ds of PR: delay, deny, discredit, dismiss. And they are not going to work in East Palestine. Much gratitude to the few in U.S. media and international media that are covering this important story for the affected communities of East Palestine. You're very welcome, and I'm happy. It's my pleasure, and I hate to have to do it, but it's important and it needs to be covered. And the surrounding communities. Chris Cuomo, I'm not such a fan of, but okay. If he's covering this,
News
great.
Nation,
Is right. So there is Scott C. Smith, and here is him conducting the testing. Here are the percentage increases over the control group in Salem. Jeez. Gross. Just gross. All of it. Gross. And finally, our friend Jenna Colby, friend of the show, friend of the network, she retweeted, this was a News Nation Now segment where East Palestine residents, about the protest at the Statehouse. Zeus Muse saying, "Why has my house in East Palestine smelled like a drain cleaner since February 3rd, Governor Mike DeWine?"
Probably because it's used. There's chemicals everywhere.
And Jenna says, "A Norfolk Southern train derailed, dumping a toxic mess which was lit up / exploded in order to clear the tracks to get the trains up and running in a small town on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border back in February this year. It's mid-June and still nothing's been resolved." And reminding us that aging in this country is horrifying. And I think that Jenna lives nearby. She's personally deeply affected by this, as are we all. And I don't live nearby, but I am personally deeply affected by this. My heart goes out to her. One of the ways that I found a lot of this stuff is that I literally just searched. I went to Twitter. I clicked on that little explore, and I clicked hashtag East Palestine. And I just started looking. And it's amazing what you'll see. And it's amazing what you'll learn. And it's amazing what you'll find. These people need help. These people need visibility. Talk about this with the people who you know and love. Hey, do you know what's going on in East Palestine? A lot of people still don't. This was glazed over. That's still going on? Yeah, that's still going on. And it's
Same
bad.
thing with Flint. So much of this is still happening. There's still
Hey, look at
train
that.
derailments ever. Yes.
How about that? Give that a retweet while you're at it.
No, don't.
Hey, how about that?
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad.
Who did that one? I didn't. Did I do that? Oh boy. I didn't mean to do that.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Anyway.
So, anyway, okay.